Let's discuss further with Mauro. He is a national security analyst with the Clarion Project. Ryan, let's start off with what we're hearing from Iran. Iran saying that Hezbollah missiles can hit anywhere in Israel. Now, Iran, Ryan, as we know, has been threatening to wipe Israel off the map for a while now. And in a way, it almost makes the world numb to the egregiousness of this hostility. How seriously should we be taking Iran's threats?
Well, we should take them seriously simply because of the ideology which is focused on this apocalyptic end time scenario and basically means that the regime can do anything at any moment. And they also are somewhat intelligent strategic thinkers. But what I found a bit amusing about that threat that came from the Iranian Revolutionary Guards commander that's been printed in a few different outlets is that there's a part where he says that the Islamic Revolution of Iran is succeeding in the region, but you can't really see it. You have to just kind of feel it. I mean, that's a pretty poor job of bragging when you have to say, yeah, you're not really going to see how I'm successful. You just you need to feel it.
All right. But Ryan, could he be referring to the fact that Iran continues to build missile factories, continues to supply the likes of Hezbollah with weapons? We're also knowing from the Israelis that Hezbollah does have a cell ready to attack Israel at a moment's notice. That's right on the border with Israel. Is this perhaps, and then I'm not trying to translate what the Iranian general means, but is this perhaps what he's alluding to? The fact that even though Israel continues to try and thwart these attempts, Israel is constrained by its respect for other countries and trying to minimize civilian casualties and such. Is this what he's referring, that there is a buildup here against Israel?
Sure, and it's true that Hezbollah's forces and capabilities continue to increase. He was talking a bit about the strategic and political situation in the region, and that's when he had to begin spinning, because it's been a consistent story and a consistently known fact that the Iranian regime, the Revolutionary Guards, and Hezbollah and their various proxies have been growing for years and years. And so when the Revolutionary Guards tries to make it sound as if something has suddenly shifted, it's important to scrutinize those comments and say, well, what's actually going on here? With the sanctions happening on the Iranian regime, I also think that they are scared and going to have to feel like they have to prove themselves, because back in 2010, when sanctions were placed on Iran, the budget to Hezbollah from the Iranian regime was reportedly cut by as much as 40%. So if you're a Hezbollah commander and you're looking at those bank accounts, you're worried.
Ryan, there are reports that Pompeo and some in the White House and the state official want to officially designate Iran's military, Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, as a foreign terrorist organization. This would be the first time that the U.S. designates effectively a unit of another government's military as a terrorist group. What do you make of that move?
That's been debated since around 2006, 2007. I remember the Democrats were split on whether they supported doing that or not. To me, it's just common sense. If you're a terrorist sponsoring entity, then you are a terrorist organization. We can't split hairs over these definitions. And I think even from a symbolic level, it's important for us to do this type of thing and designate even sections of foreign militaries and intelligence services that support terrorists, because it's all part of the same jihad factory. And it recognizes the fact that these terrorists, in most cases, are proxies for foreign governments and not entirely independent.
In terms of what the U.S. has done to support Israel with regards to Iran most recently, Ryan, we know that the U.S. has deployed the THAAD missile defense system. That is a very sophisticated defense battery, as we know now. It's only been installed a few times elsewhere in the world, so it's pretty significant. Do you view this as an abundance of caution, or do you see it as a signal that a threat is seen to be very real and very imminent?
Oh, it's as common sense as locking your doors. It's something that just simply has to be done when you look at the threat that's coming from Iran and Hezbollah. When they're building missiles and trying to increase the range and how powerful those missiles are, then you have to have those missile defense systems in place. I would like to see a broader strategy against Iran, aside from ongoing diplomacy with Arab countries. I'm a little bit concerned about Pompeo's trip to Kuwait because reportedly that's about Kuwait's trying to heal the rift between Qatar, which is acting as an ally of Iran, and Turkey, and the rest of the Arab world. So is our position to the Saudis and other countries that, look, you need to try to get along with Qatar, or is it to really just hammer at Qatar? And we don't really know at this point.
All right, Ryan, appreciate it. Ryan Mauro.